SupaKnowVa.
All right, so when we left off, we were talking to Daniel about a date he had. Uh, Last we left off, you guys were in a coffee shop, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and what you said, the coffee shop was empty or was it about to
It
close?
was emptying. It was about to close. Yeah.
Okay, so it was did you guys feel rushed when you got there, or?
No, we got there with an hour to go. Like the conversation had
That's pretty
kind
good.
of petered out. And that's, I mean, even in more successful first dates I've had, the limit, like 45 minutes to 90 minutes, if it's going like super well, is like
Right.
the boundary of it. So this lasted an hour. That was fine.
So the date was a total of an hour?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's a quick one. So you said the conversation had petered out by the time you got there, or by the time the hour was up?
By the time the hour was up, yeah.
Okay.
It just wasn't, we traded
Was it one of those
life
awkward
stories, traded like
Was it an awkward date where there's lots of silence?
to an extent, because y'all know me, like if nobody else is talking and I feel like it's appropriate for me to do so, I've got stories for days and
Right.
topics of conversation for days, but that can also feel a bit much for somebody who's just meeting me.
Trying to be casual,
yeah.
right? Mhm.
Right. And, try to keep the topic of conversation light but engaging. It's a difficult balance. I've had ones
So-
go good, ones go bad. I wouldn't be fussed that this went bad, except that, again, I'm getting very, very little engagement now.
So the question
So-
I really
so-
want to know. Oh, go ahead,
Okay.
Paulo. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ring back to the olden days when I was younger. I had a lot of, I learned about American culture. So going back, I know I keep kind of cutting off there. When I went to college, I came to the country at 12 or 13, and never really experienced the world, right? Because I stayed at home and all that. So when I came to college, I didn't know how to date people. I didn't know, how to put myself out there. So I met a lot of girls that became my friends who told me this, and I'm not sure if this is true for all the girls, right? That are into guys, but they said that there are types of conversations, and then they taught me this type of conversations called the non-committal conversations, in which it's not personal, it's not politically charged or anything that would be invested at all.
Nothing
It's
meaningful. Yeah.
correct, but it's not like small talk. So
Hmm.
for example, the two word this or that questions is one of them. You're
Mhm.
just asking, and you're getting to know them a little bit better, or like ask them. I've been told to always ask what they do on their off time, or what so you could
What their
you could
interests
then
are.
bring up more
Of
topics.
course. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so so I had a friend of mine chaperone me on my first date, one of my first dates in college, and she would take notes as I interacted with this person, and yeah, and she would tell me, it's like, hey, you're not using enough non-committal conversations. What's up with that? This person feels like they have to get close to you, or listen to you, or not be able to engage. It just kind of harks back to that.
Right.
I thought it was
Remind me
kinda
to ask Keith about a date we set him up on to be graded on his dating etiquette and skill set.
I remember
oh,
this
wow.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that. So what I want to know, Daniel, the
Mhm.
question that's been burning in my mind was this girl a thick girl? I know you like them. I know you like them thick.
No, that was kind of the other somewhat disappointing, but you just can't like put too much judgment in first date. But she was like half a foot shorter than me,
Okay.
which is just not my, being a
That's a good
5'8" guy
size.
myself, not like too into the tininess.
She was what, like 5'6"?
Maybe a little even less than that. I'm a terrible judge of this. I don't know, like, my eyes here, her eyes were about like,
Oh, so you're
And you
5'8",
think
she was
that's
like
tiny?
5'4".
I don't
Yeah.
know.
A lot of people
Fun-
like that. It's called fun size.
That's not even fun size. It's like a good difference. Most
well, it's,
people.
we were sitting down most of the time. It's hard to judge. Just shorter than me. It wasn't
So
isn't
wait
my
a minute.
game. I
You didn't answer my
prefer my height or taller.
you didn't
Yeah.
answer my question though. So
She
if she
did-
were
he
not
did.
No,
like,
she wasn't
so
large.
was she super skinny or was she super large?
medium? Like for her height, she was medium
She was
size.
average,
She was
okay.
normal
Yeah,
build.
she's medium rare. Not too well done.
So what did you
It's
guys
so objectifying.
what did you guys talk about?
I asked her about, things that she was into, which happened to be theater, which is one
Oh.
thing that I know a bit about, but am decidedly not into. It's not that I dislike it, because I'm into the idea of like art and writing and performance, but theater people like theater people. It's like the theater kids in high school, college. They are a type apart.
So jocks hang with the jocks, theater people hang with the theater people,
Even
musicians
there,
hang
they
with the
like.
musicians, cheerleaders hang with the cheerleaders. Is that what you're saying?
I
No,
don't know
I
about
think
that.
I'm saying that this issue is more specific to like theater people,
Okay.
because there's like there's a
Is she like
certain mode
does she
of
go to theater or is
reference.
she in theater? Like she's an actress or an actor or whatever.
Oh, she had previously held a position as a stage manager and works part-time as a bartender at a theater, just to be near the action, not because she needs the money. Works again in international development, which, if you make it in that around here, you're making pretty good money. You're like getting the contract gigs for USAID or the State Department or what have you. So she was doing that on the spare time and had previously held a position as a stage manager. So again, like there's an interesting element to her, but one for which I have no like frame of reference.
Right. And so what are her like her stats? She has a cat. Does she
Her
have
stats.
any children?
No.
She live alone? Does she live with roommates?
Did not establish that.
Oh, see, you gotta ask all these questions.
Well, I don't know. That seems a little creepy.
No,
gotta break
man.
the ice first.
Well, you don't ask if you live alone, but you can, where your parents live. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, those would be fair questions. And no, again, this could be me overthinking it, but like I skip over the basics. And that's not to say that I get into like deep conversations about like, oh, well, what do you really believe in? But I want to at least pick at like, well, what are you passionate about?
Do you believe in life after love? Is that what
Right.
you ask? Okay.
Did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
You just ask every first date, what is your answer to the trolley problem?
Okay.
I usually and this is me when I used to date, give them a really good pickup line. When it becomes
I know you
that
love
awkward,
your pickup lines.
it works. It has not failed me.
But that's
It's
you don't do that
always
after
been a
the
good thing.
when you're
No,
on.
Well,
a date,
usually
I could see the value in that. Yeah.
I bust it out when the girl doesn't want to talk.
Right. Because it's just, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Because things are awkward and you're just kind of acknowledging the awkwardness while trying to break it instead of
that's
just
when you
like
get up and walk away, and you say, and then you come back and say, "I was just kidding."
No, that's terrible.
yeah,
No,
that
that's
would
great.
be,
Awful,
that would be
man.
like
That's great.
pickup artist bullshit.
Well,
Fantastic.
You can so again, I want to defend this because I think people should do funny pickup lines, not to mean it, but to actually
Cheesy. Yeah.
So one of them is, depending on what kind of reaction you wanna give it. My favorite one, and it's not usually something I pull out right away. It depends on the person, but I would be like, "Hey girl, are you garbage? Because I'd like to take you out.
Yeah. All right.
That, I mean, I feel like that's a high risk strategy.
It is.
You could just get a drink in your face.
Oh,
from the first, before you have
something-
the chance to finish that sentence, drink in your face. Like
it's not something you definitely pull out right away, but it's one of my favorites. Although the one that really works almost all the time, no fail, 100% success rate for Paulo is counting shoulders.
Sorry?
Counting shoulders. You don't know what counting shoulders is?
No,
and then that's what
I was drinking. I couldn't hear you, but no, I actually don't know what that is.
So usually you go to the girl and said, "Hey, do you know how to count shoulders?" And most of the time she's going to say no. Some girls do know it. So when they know it, don't even try because they know it. But if they don't know it, you go next to her, you start counting your shoulder. You go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And the fourth one, you have your hand around her. 100% success rate. I have never had a girl thought I was creepy. But obviously you gotta break the ice when you pull it out. So when silence happens and there's nothing to talk about, I bring it up and it's like, hey, so since we're not talking, do you know how to count shoulders? Boom, and now you're physically touching each other.
All right. So in closing, we have 50 seconds. How did the date end, Daniel? 50 seconds.
Just we had to leave because the place was closing. I asked if we could trade numbers and she said not at this time. So gone.
Oh boy. Okay. So no hug, no handshake. Did you bow?
No chest bump.
Yep. Just
separate ways.
Yep. Yeah. She even walked the different direction than what I was walking.
Okay. Well, that's pretty succinct. All right. So
yep.
All right. Well, that's Paulo.
What was that?
That's my transition, man. There's nothing I can say. No, sorry.
No coming back from that.
There's no coming back from that. I don't even want to comment. That's Paulo.
And that's Daniel.
That's Otis.
And we'll see you guys on our next dates. Oh, maybe in the next drop. See ya.
Later.